Hello, buddy. Um, I thought I'd come on and make this video only because I find, sometimes there's like a build up to something that you don't realize is going to happen, or maybe sometimes you see it happen. You get challenged, or you get to see who the real you is in real time. Yeah, it just seems like how it seems like sometimes that's how I don't want to say scare words, but I think it feels like it's like spirit kind of like puts it to the test. Uh, lets you see a little bit more. Uh, maybe it's, I don't want to say how you really are, but I don't know. It just seems like sometimes spirit has a way of just like showing you something about yourself, or lets you know like where you're really at. And I say that because it's like, well, yeah, the title of the video when it's being it's that's the masculine side of me. That's I just the only thing I can think of is like sports analogy sometimes going, you know, I'm in it, but that's what I got. So, um, you know, I think for the past month or so, I've been talking about all the stuff that I've learned over the last couple of years on this journey that I've been on, going to the retreat at Sedona with Kevin, Debbie, and Jeffrey, and you know, learning things from JJ and Kay and Alice and Coping and all, even Teresa, you there, all all these people have like dropped little nuggets into me, got me thinking. I always thought that it was like for my the betterment of myself, the improvement, and I think it has been um, to the betterment of. I think I have like accomplished the goals that I set out to was to be a better person, to always look and find ways to to improve myself, to be a better person, be nicer, kinder, or just evolve with your spirit, everything, being what have you. And I spoke a lot about recently. I spoke a lot about like moment, the present, uh, not attaching yourself to the outcome, and it makes me excited to think about it. Still, to this very moment, I get excited when I think about putting myself in that. I get excited. Because we want to have that experience. Stuff like that. I know that I'll come through it. I won't expect it. Then it seems like I don't know if you all experience this, but for me, it feels like life is almost like circular, where you come on a ball, and sometimes you're at the top of the ball, and sometimes you're at the bottom. And when you're on the bottom, it's not so good, or it's a little bit tougher, right, than it is when you're on top. So when you're standing on top of the ball, like the perspective is different, things are different. Uh, yeah, your experiences are different all the time. Maybe the perspective is different because everything's different. Right? Everything's different about your life. You have like, well, I don't want to say nothing different, but you go through your everyday life, and for the most part. people are the same. You know, people are pretty predictable. Or they can be, right? And so your day to day is somewhat similar because of that, because of all of the predictability and all of the, I think the stuff that's not changing. Um, but it's just interesting how sometimes in life, uh, the curveball comes, right? That one pitch that doesn't move straight. It, you're trying to gauge it, like if it can dive, if if it's a slow curve, if it's just gonna drop off and fall like a knuckleball, and then that's where you get put to the test, right? Or challenged or revealed, you know. And so I say that because, the last, few videos that I'm speaking about, the moment being the moment, maybe the moment to moment, and be present and not attaching yourself to the outcome. But I think it's just like events or things in your life that have more gravity, more weight. Think, you know, maybe on the lower end or the lower or lesser events, like that philosophy, lifestyle, or decision making, word processing, it works really well, right? It helps you not get caught up in things, it helps you move through things quicker, it even helps you see things differently. But then when you get to those moments, those life altering moments or moments that are bigger than every other moment, those are the ones where I think, you know, now it's game time. Now we're gonna see like we're gonna put this to the test. How to change, how to evolve, are you the same, are you different? How are you gonna react to the situation? And so I bring that up because I noticed like sometimes in life you get those kinds of situations. Sometimes they just become like common. And that's when people have like these breakdowns because um, it's too much, it's overwhelming. If you can handle one life event, but then if you have like multiple life events or back to back life events, or maybe they're not a life event, maybe it's like an event that's just below that, like on the stress level or the energy level, you just have a little too much, right? Then it becomes overwhelming. It's almost like, when um, we're going through this at work, where everybody, well, a ton of people are just burnt out because they're pushing so hard. They let go a quarter of the people, and we were expected to produce more with less help. And you know what I mean? There's the pressure to deliver quick, quicker than before, even with less, and and it, it really, it really weighed on everybody. And it was like this big noose around your neck, and this big weight that everybody was dragging. Uh, but I was able to realize like the definition of burnout for myself, and what it really meant. It was just because you couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. There was no, if you lost, you were so far down emotionally, you lost control of the situation, and you really didn't know how to get yourself out. And that's where like the frustration sets in. That's where burnout happens, and you can't, you don't have a resolution, or you can, you can't do anything to change your situation. And I think, that was a nice thing to go through. I think even if it was really tough at the time. It was nice to like understand that and learn that lesson. Um, not to say that that won't happen again, like at work, burnout. Um, but it hasn't since then, only because I think of my perspective. But then, when you go through things like death, um, illness, I don't know if those things can apply. I don't know. It's just interesting because, recently we had to, we had to, yeah, so like a couple days ago, 4 days ago or whatever, uh, my brother-in-law had to put his dog. And we all love the dog. It was his like best friend. Uh, but it was like what that dog represented to the family. He was the he was the last dog uh, in our family. So like, what I mean by that is like it just took us back to a time, a certain place in time where our family was together. Uh, I mean, like our extended family was very tight, close. I had a dog, mother-in-law had a dog, brother-in-law had a dog, and it was all three dogs. And we would bring each dog over to the house, and all three dogs would play, fight, and do all this crazy stuff. But over time, I put my dog down, and mother-in-law put her dog down, and a couple of days ago. And so it was almost like a closing of the chapter of a certain time in our life when our family was really close. Our, the extended family was really close and father up after we moved out of California to try to find a new beginning. And yeah, so it was really sad. It was sad, to lose Blake as Blake. It was really sad to lose him or to let him go. Right? And then you try to go there spiritually to like maybe kind of release or relieve some of the emotion or lessen it. But sometimes it doesn't help as much as you think it should, right? Put it in oh, maybe work onto a good phase, works with the other dogs, or not hurting anymore, and he's still around because he's good and not, the meat suit that we used to chase around. It's yeah, it's interesting because all of the stuff that you learn, it comes to that moment where it's time to deliver. Like okay, fourth quarter, you're down by five, now it's time to deliver. And it's it's almost like you come up short. Well, it's like a pass or fail, right? You either do it, you either deliver, you come through, or you don't. And I don't want to say like I failed the moment, because I don't think there's a failure. I don't think it's like a win loss, but it is a win loss in the sense that like how much have you evolved? Right now here's the test. Here's spirit giving you the opportunity to prove yourself. And if you fall short, it's a loss. But I get it. It's not a loss, but it's a loss. You know, I don't want to say that. I think I was able in that moment. I was able to like be okay with it and not like lose it and be devastated or anything like that. I felt sad and everything like that. I processed it. I didn't get stuck in it. I went through the emotion. Right? I think that's the important part is to go through it and not like not distracted. Um, then we come to like something else, another like event, family arguments and stuff like that, and you know, somebody's arguing with you, pushing your buttons, you poking at you, like getting you to snap or trying to get you to react and pull you out of character, and or what you think is your character, and then you know tell you you like you lean on things that you learned over time. Okay, I recognize this going on here. This person's antagonized, and so I pause, right? Like I learned. I spoke about focusing in a few videos where I think I've learned one of the best lessons that I've learned is to learn to pause um, in, in moments and to allow myself time to process. And I think my boss at work is the one that taught me uh, when I was going through that whole burnout thing. I remember one time she just said, "Hey, I'm gonna ask you a question and I don't want to answer. I want you to think about it because you get better when you have a chance to process." So she just here's the question. I don't want an answer. I do, right away in my head, I thought of the answer and I thought that's it. But she said, I don't want to. I want you to think about it and then give me your answer tomorrow. And in that moment, it was like a light bulb went on. And I was like, wow, I need to slow down. I need to stop like reacting immediately. I have to have a comeback to everything. And it was like you never give your chance. I never gave myself a chance to be different or to show myself that I was different, that I've evolved, that I've grown, because I was so like, caught up in the moment of like I have to give an answer, I have to provide a comeback to whatever. And so, you know, you're getting poked in those arguments and stuff like that. You know, you lean on yourself or you lean on the things that you learned, and then sometimes you just don't believe. And it's like it's so defeating. And so I'll just, you know, we had an argument in the family. It was like a family argument, and one member of the family. I want to give out this they're not you didn't so, but one of the members of my family or in my family spoke spoke you stuff and all of this stuff, and it is what it is. I understood what they were trying to do in the moment, but I got caught. I didn't go through the moment. I got caught in the moment. And I was like, I didn't pause. I understood what was going on, and I just went there anyway. And it was like the old me came back, where I had to like fire back, and I had to come back. You know, I was like, wow. Like in the moment, I was like, wow, you lost the moment. And I was like, you're attacking yourself. Like you have to win this. And I was like, oh, I was so defeated. And then, after the argument was over, whatever, like nothing much was up because nothing ever really solved. When you have like these bad blowouts, right? The only time things get resolved is that everybody has a chance to take a step back and really assess what happened. Right? Maybe somebody's lucky enough to say like, well, what did I really want to accomplish? And resolution from somebody, apology or acknowledge me, something like that. But I realized in that moment uh, that I failed, that I lost. It did not win the game. It did not come through in clutch time. I think the difference is that I didn't dwell on it. I saw what happened. I realized what happened. I realized where I went wrong, or where everything went sideways, or in the moment where I chose not to be the person that I want, and I chose to be the person that the other. I think that's what's kind of like frustrating. Um, Unfortunate because I allowed somebody to pull me out of the person that I want. Not a person that wins the fight or like me or wins the game. I don't even want to like look at category or competition to be won. But I do want to be able to be the kind of person that can be the person that they want to be all the time. And I realized, like, well, you gotta allow yourself. Human is to err, or the err, how it is. But I do realize that it's not about being perfect, but you know, it's about trying your best um, at in each moment where you have to try. You know, and uh, so I didn't. I didn't do my best. Um, I allowed myself to be somebody else that I couldn't find flattering that want. So using the knowledge, personality is I lost the game. I didn't deliver the clutch. Um, all of those things. But you know, it's interesting because you know life gives you opportunity sometimes for redemption or just another chance to be who you are. So sure enough, a couple of days later, back in the same argument. And what's kind of funny is I talk about like living moment to moment. And as soon as the conversation started back up, I realized that this is not a new moment. It's a continuation of the same moment. Just because the way the energy was, I mean, I think the conversation started off kind of appropriate, or maybe lower, and but it tones changed quickly, and you could see like way back where we left off. That moment wasn't complete for everybody, maybe, and so right there, right away, I realized like this is gonna go nowhere, and so uh, I just kept like telling myself like um, choice is very important, right? Um, and not to fall for the sucker bait. I don't know why I kept saying that. Like that thought was popping into my head. Like you're gonna be baited. Don't don't bite. You know. Or I just like told myself like uh, this is a continuation of somebody else's moment. It's not, and so I don't need to. I think right there, once I realized that, it just allowed me to release myself from this and just go through it instead of being stuck in it. You know? So I ended up not saying anything at all, actually, in this argument. It's like family squabble or what have you. Um, 'Cause I didn't feel the need to say anything. Um, People venting, not even listening to each other, trying to one up each other or have the perfect comeback. Um, and I just felt like it was nothing that I needed to be a part of. But I only bring this up because it's, I guess realizing like, you know, I must be at the bottom of the ball right now. And I think it's a good thing that a ball is circular and it rolls. So if I'm at the bottom, then I should be heading back to the top, hopefully soon, so that things can change. But I guess if they don't, then it's a good exercise to maybe find my bearings and see where I'm at. Like all of this change. Have I really changed? Mm, I guess it's kind of funny because you're a changed person until you're not. Right? You're a good person until you're not. You're a kind person until you're not. And to use the sports thing again, it's like I just want to stack it. I want to be able to have as many good days as possible because the more good days you have, the more the future things are until spirits for them. Well, let's see where you're at. Mm, uh, but anyways, I thought I'd share that. I come on, I'm super excited. I'm like, oh, this is what I learned today. This is what I experienced. I done this or figured this out. Or, you know, so I guess we're just like everybody else. Have rough moments, just like everybody else in doing this stuff. A lot of heavy stuff, a lot of big stuff, but I think my perspective is different. And so it allows me to miss through things instead of being stuck. Um, I think that's the major change, and that's where like usually different things because I'm not stuck so much as long or ever. You know? And I say I don't like to speak in absolutes, but when I say ever, it's because you know it's in the context of development. It's, I go through things because my moments are like shorter than my family. You know, this moment lasted a couple of days. It started surprising and funny. Uh, for me, I found it humorous that I'm like, wow, we're still in the same moment that we were a couple of days ago. It's like, wow, you've come a long way, Richie. Uh, I don't know. I'll leave it at that. I think I handled it. But yeah, um, we all go through it, but just make sure the underlying word is clear. Right? Make sure that you're not being stuck in something. Try to find your way to process and make it take it to the other side or find the light at the end of the tunnel. Get to the end of the tunnel. That way you can move on to your next tunnel. All right, see you guys then, and thank